What you're going to see is a combination of recorded video from a second run-through of my searching techniques, as well as a selected annotated screenshots from my 15-minute recording session. I think it's sometimes easier to see my process and thoughts in more of a live format than simply through screenshots alone. I used Sony Vegas to create this movie. For my 15-minute search, I used a few different strategies, one of them being taking advantage of my colleagues. A little while ago, a teacher friend of mine sent me an article that he thought I might like. It was called Laboratories of Reform, Virtual High Schools, and Innovation in Public Education by a guy named Bill Tucker. So the first thing I did with that was scroll down, see what the table of contents had. Looks like it has interesting things. And then I went to the About the Author page to see who this Bill Tucker guy exactly was. Turns out he's COO at Education Sector. And so if I go back to Google and Google Education Sector, they are an independent education policy think tank. So they come up with independent ideas on how to make education better. So that sounds like a credible paper to me. So I went and took the title, Laboratories of Reform, Virtual High Schools, went over to Google Scholar. So what I do now is I click on all 9 versions to see which version I can get. Chances are that the education sector people, I suppose, would post their own report. So I'll grab it from these guys. If I did find an article that was particularly well written and I thought it gave me a lot of information, in this case it did, I will often use this cited by 22 down here. When I click that, Google Scholar tells me what other papers have cited that Tucker paper. So in the acknowledgement section of their paper, they will have cited him, and I figured, well, if they used Tucker's research, they should be doing research that's fairly similar. And then I can go and find other things. So in the case of these guys, distance education use in rural schools, there's a few of them. It's a 2009 article, so that's always good to give a little bit of a newer research, especially to something technological like that. I will quickly read the abstract so I can see what the article is going to be about. And not have to waste my time on an article that is, completely different than what I'm actually looking for. So what if I wasn't given a document already? I would probably go and do a keyword search. You can of course use Google Scholar, although there are a lot of other databases as well. In this case, I'm using the Michigan MEL database, and I'm also picking the ERIC database to search through. It's a good educational database. I would search for keywords in the drop-down menu. In this case, I want to do something generic enough where I get some hits back, but I don't want to type in anything too generic that I get too many results to go through. So, virtual school success, and I get some results here, and I can just go through and read all of them and see which one looks good, basically. Anything that's got an interesting title, so I can click that. The nice thing about this particular database is it gives you the titles, the source, the authors. In this particular case, the article is not peer-reviewed, as you can see here, so I would have to treat it as more of an opinion, an op-ed piece, and also more keywords. So, for instance, I could go and pick some of these keywords and search for these. Maybe my search would be narrowed down by virtual classrooms. So I'll try that and see what happens. The only problem with this, and something that I've run into and I would like to improve upon, is that this hunting and pecking is time-consuming, and you never really know what you're going to get unless you actually click on all of these links. To wrap up, I use keywords that start out broad in scope and get more specific as I get results. Often I would then use Google Scholar to search for these particular words. I would like to improve my research by better utilizing the keywords that I choose in order to make my searching more efficient, or to use more search catalogs to see if I get different results.